Hello, welcome, I'm Raziel, and this is a Merry Christmas video for you guys. And I did put this poll up, whether or not to talk about it. And to be honest with you, it is a thing that's going around my head for a while. And I really wanted to get my thoughts straight, I wanted to get them sorted. And I wanted to be able to talk about this in a way which would be absolutely objective. And nothing else apart from talking about how it will affect the law in its totalitarian state, and if it's a good thing or not. And that, of course, is female space marines. And of course, the big thing against female space marines, well, the main thing, I don't think it's the biggest thing. I think this is just a nice law reason why they can't be female space marines. But there is a much bigger problem than the gene seed on why we cannot have female space marines and why they would be bad for the Imperium as a whole. So basically, if you know the law, we can't have female space marines because of the gene seed. The space marine gene seed is only good for males, and that's it. Okay, that's fine, that's brilliant, right? That's a decent enough reason, I believe. I think it's great, we should stop there. But it does go deeper. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, Bellasaurus Core goes, look, I've made a female space marine. And Gute Gilliman goes, yes, now let's do equal opportunities, 50% space marines. Okay, 50%. Every chapter now is 50% male, 50% female. Great, right? Fantastic. Now, here's where the problem lies. We will now have the ecclesiarchy to deal with. The ecclesiarchy can't have space marines. Can't have space marines because space marines are men. Now we have female space marines, and that whole diktat of no men under arms, which stops them having space marines, no longer applies. So now the ecclesiarchy can have transhuman psychopaths in armor. Great, right? That's what we want. We want these power-hungry people to have space marines. Not just space marines, be able to use and have half of all space marines under their command. See, they can take they could take anyone under troops as long as they were female. They had the people didn't could question it. They could just say, we're taking you. You're going to be fighting for us now. You're a woman. This is why we have Sisters of Battle. Sisters of Battle, of course, are the militant arm of the ecclesiarchy. They also have a second job, which is not usually spoken, but is considered their most sacred of duties, and that is to make sure the ecclesiarchy doesn't overstep their mark. They stay in their lane. They don't go all overpowered again. Like Gog Van Dyer did. When Gog Van Dyer completely combined the ecclesiarchy and the Lords of Terror and the state as one thing. So you had this huge tyrannical person in power, and that almost brought the age to the Imperium. Female space marines wouldn't have that diktat. They would not have the rules to be the one to make sure the ecclesiarchy toed the line, didn't overstep their mark and stayed in their lane. Because why would they? They wouldn't be told to do that. That's a Sisters of Battle job. And now we have, female space marines, hypothetically speaking, of course. Who's going to win a fight? Normal space marines, normal women in power armor, or super transhuman with... Who's going to win? It's going to be the space marines. They're going to literally wipe the floor with the Sisters of Battle. They will not last. They will die. The faction will be gone. We will lose an entire faction just because we have now female space marines. And then there's the other part. When new space marines are created, we do get one or two new chapters solely filled up with them. I can't actually think of any Primaris ones at hand, because I tend to stick to the chapters I know, okay? I like Death Watch, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, okay? Maybe Crimson Fist, but they should never be Primaris. So I can't really name. So that's the thing. We're going to have 50% females, 50% males on all chapters. Now, the females will now be told to fight on the ecclesiarchy. And who are they going to be fighting against? Believe it or not, Space Marines, the same chapter, aren't a big fan of fighting each other. They don't mind fighting other chapters, that's something else. But fighting their own brothers and now sisters would be a big no-no in their book. It is considered one of the worst things they can do. Even interwars between successor chapters is incredibly rare and considered one of the worst things. Look at the Devastation of Baal, when even a traitor chapter was allowed to fight for them. You know, Dante wasn't going to be a big fan of actually killing them. They let them die in combat, and that was it. So these Space Marines, now we have this ecclesiarchy with lots of female Space Marines, no longer have any Sisters of Battle to make sure that they, you know, behave, but aren't going to really want to fight these people in the same armour as them. They're not going to want to do it. So we're going to have a civil war, and it's going to be a lot of bloodshed on wrong side, because no one's going to want to fight each of their brothers, though under the command of the ecclesiarchy, who, you know, could quite easily at this point take over all the Lords of Terror and literally rule everyone. Oh, what about Rubek Guilliman? Let's not forget how many Primarchs have actually died. Okay, one, and it was, of course, Rogal Dorn being killed by a lot of Astartes. Yes, they were called Berserkers. So, what? He's got a lot of Space Marines going against him. A lot more than his one chapter. He's not going to last. It's not going to be. It's going to be such an unfair fight that the Primarchs are going to die. And this is how bad female Space Marines are going to be. They're not good for 40k. They're a bad fit just for that, because of the ecclesiarchy will now be allowed to use them, and that's it. And once the ecclesiarchy have that sort of power and that sort of, you know, soldiery behind them, and let alone they'll probably be able to create their own chapters too, and not actually need to take them from pre-existing chapters, because the ecclesiarchy can pretty much do whatever it wants within reason, as long as it doesn't make men under arms. Can we just really understand that part? The ecclesiarchy can do whatever as long as it doesn't raise an army of men. Female Space Marines are not men, so they can raise any amount of chapters they want as long as they're all female and do what they want with it. Get one power hungry dude up there, and that's it. And the Sisters Battles are gone. You might get some decent fights with Imperial Guard and Custodes, but the Space Marines will fight each other and we'll have another civil war, far worse than the Age of Apostasy, far worse than the Horus Heresy, and it is just going to be bad for everyone. Now, a common thing I hear about female Space Marines is they don't even need to change the armour. Okay, it's just cosmetic change. Don't need really change the armour. It's all the same. So what Games Workshop won't even do, this is the more market side, okay? Games Workshop will not do female Space Marines unless they can make new models and show that they are female. It doesn't need new heads, really. Have you seen these heads that they've added? They don't look... Space Marines... Games Workshop cannot do heads very well. Especially women heads, female heads. They're very bad at it. I think there's like one good one out of all of them. And so they won't... If they do new female Space Marines, they will do new models. They will do more feminine looking models. Okay? And this idea that you don't even need to do that. Why do you want female Space Marines? You just want to say that these Space Marines are female. That's all you want to do. Why? It just seems a bit stupid. But yeah. And there you go. So they want to make new models, and they will make new feminine looking models. It's not going to please anyone. But yeah, that's going to happen. So in the end, to really sum this up, the reason we can't have female Space Marine is because the ecclesiarchy will use them, and they will use them to destroy the Sisters of Battle. And anyway, why do you want to get rid of Sisters of Battle? If you want decent female warriors, why do you want to suddenly just have them on steroids? And go, oh, no, we got female Space Marines. Like, dude, seriously, Sisters of Battle are badass. The fact they're not souped up to their gills on steroids and, you know, having all the extra organs and everything else, but still managing to pull off the stuff Space Marines do is absolutely amazing. But you want to get rid of them just so you can have female Space Marines is such a silly thing. Anyway, as I said, back to the point. Yes, ecclesiarchy will use them, there will be a civil war, and it will be absolutely devastating for everyone. It won't look good. It really won't. And the only reason you can have female Space Marines now is because if they ignore that, they have to ignore the entire reason for the Sisters of Battle's existence to have female Space Marines. We can ignore the Gene Seed now. We can just say, right, Belisarius is cool. He gets around it. Okay, fine. Now explain why the ecclesiarchy aren't going to be using them. There is the big one. Why won't the ecclesiarchy now use 50% of all the Space Marines to do what they want, to take control? Why not? These, like I said, they don't have the diktat, but they have to make sure the ecclesiarchy line straight away. The ecclesiarchy go say, hey, all you Space Marines, you work for us now, kill those Sisters of Battle. We don't want to. You have to do what we say, and that's it. There you go. So this idea that female Space Marines are anyway good for 40k, and ignoring this major part of the law. Like, this whole part of the law is so important. You know, it affects the Inquisition, it affects the Space Marines, it affects the Sisters of Battle, the Adeptus Sororitas, it affects the Imperial Guard. You know, this like, they don't even, not even allowed Imperial Guard, because if you look at Imperial Guard law, every single one of those in the Imperial Guard, as soon as you sign up to be a Guardsman, you are a Guardsman. You're not a Guardswoman, you're a Guardsman, which is why they can't have the Imperial Guard. They can't have Space Marines because they're men. Can't have Imperial Guard because they're Guardsmen. They can have Sisters of Battle because they're women. Oh, and they'll just call these, they'll just say that Space Marines are gender neutral or something. Alright, fine. So why are they still not using Space Marines? They could just use all Space Marines then, because they're not men. It's okay. There you go. That's it. Female Space Marines. That is my argument for it. It is going to be silly. It's silly. It will do damage to the law. It doesn't work within even the confines of outside the gene seed. It doesn't work. And there you go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. A link to Wayland Games down below, as always. And I'll see you again soon. There is Forbidden Planet as well, if you want comics. Wayland Games, if you want to save up to 20% on your Warhammer. There is comics, mugs, t-shirts, if you wish to support the channel. All this supports the channel. It's always great seeing you do this, guys. It really does. It means I don't have to ask you guys for money for, like, memberships and, you know, Patreon. Because, God, I hate that. Yeah, so if I ever get an advert, you'll see that it will come up here. Because, why not? As long as I'm not asking you guys for money, it's not shilling. I don't want you to just give me money. I don't like it. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.